Well, I was worried I wouldn't have a Halloween video for this year. I've been kind of delayed lately because of stuff like the hurricane and my job getting in the way. But fortunately for me, CBS did this insane thing this year. Michael Jackson's Halloween. This is real. I didn't hear about this until fairly recently. It seemed to have slipped under the radar. And at first glance, it kind of looks like one of those direct-to-DVD CGI movies you see at Walmart or something. So I'm kind of shocked this actually aired on a television network. So what's this movie about? Well, that's a very good question, actually. Because the plot of this is very simple, and yet I have so many questions. The main characters are Vincent, a kid who's working a dead-end job at a grocery store. I can relate. But he has big dreams of becoming a DJ. And Victoria, who gave up being a dancer to be an intern at a soulless corporation. Okay? But the two of them meet and they get sucked into this hotel full of all kinds of crazy Halloween creatures, where they have to fight a villain who is literally named Conformity. So I guess there was a base message of follow your dreams, or something like that. The problem is, there were all these like crazy characters and things happening in this movie that had very little to do with Michael Jackson. There was, you know, occasional reference or something, and they would play clips of one of his songs or something like that. The only major tie-in with Michael Jackson besides the music and all that was Bubbles was in this, or rather it was a monkey who's named Bubbles. And I think I can best describe this movie by a line that Bubbles says at one point. There's a scene where they meet him at the front desk and then they go into an elevator and he's in the elevator, you know, working the elevator, and they're like, wait, weren't you behind the counter or something like that? And he goes, yeah, I don't think about it too much. And I think that's the attitude you should have going into this. So, does anyone care if I spoil this movie? Because I really have to talk about what happens in this. So, they go through this hotel and they meet all these characters. There's this, like, dancing pumpkin guy, and then there's a spider guy, and a scientist cat, and Conformity is after all of them because apparently she's banned dancing or having fun or something like that. So the two kids have to meet these characters, and then they go to all of their locations, and they have this machine, and they, like, put their songs in it, because each character has a song or something, and it's this little talisman or something. So they put them in this machine, and then all three of the characters, the pumpkin guy, the spider guy, and the scientist cat, combine into Michael Jackson, and then he shows up and, like, saves children from being zombified by Conformity. I guess the metaphors are obvious. And then they heal Conformity, and she becomes a regular woman, and then Michael Jackson and Bubbles pack up the hotel and leave, and I guess go terrorize another neighborhood, and that's it. That's the movie. I've described everything in this movie. You know, even though the story was basic and the pacing was terrible and the CGI was bad, and I mean really bad. Like, I've seen cheap CGI movies that look better than this, especially with Michael Jackson's character model, which looked terrifying, and the dancing scenes were just kind of terrible. But I don't know. Some about this, like, really kept me invested. I think it was just ridiculous enough that I was able to pay attention and see, you know, what was going to happen next. Not to mention they used Michael Jackson music in it, so that was nice. A lot of good voice talent behind this, too. Lucy Liu was the voice of Conformity. There was Brad Garrett as the voice of Bubbles. There was Diedrich Bader. There was Alan Cummings. There was that guy that plays Sheldon on The Big Bang Theory. If anyone still cares about The Big Bang Theory. Lucas Till was the voice of Vincent, who plays Havoc in the X-Men movies. And the voice of Victoria was Kiersey Clemons, who's going to play Iris West in upcoming DC projects. So it was kind of like we had a Marvel and DC character kind of working together in this movie. Look, I'm trying to get whatever I can out of this, alright? So, this movie was pretty dumb, but it was kind of dumb in all the right ways. Like, I think this falls into the so bad it's good category. It feels like they were trying to make something like Moonwalker, where they wanted to kind of, sort of tell a story, but at the same time they just wanted, you know, really cool visuals with Michael Jackson music behind it. The problem is, Moonwalker was actually better than this, because at least that had some pretty cool practical effects. I mean, hell, Captain EO is better than this. But I think it might be worth it to watch just for a laugh or two. Other than that, if you're a fan of Michael Jackson, I don't think you'll really get anything out of this. You might as well just go watch one of his other movies, or, you know, just listen to his music. Well, this wasn't really much of a Halloween video, but again, it's the best I could do on such short notice. But that's all I got for Michael Jackson's Halloween. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. My name is Rob, and have a happy Halloween.